to the Mainly Wrestling Show. I'm Jack Milner, joined by once again the incumbent in the as the third man, Matt Leach. He's hooded up today, and John Jacobs. John's looking extremely well groomed. No glasses this evening. We're here to look at TNA Unbreakable 2005, which was, I think, Leach. I know you're a big proponent of his star ratings. The first TNA match to get the big five from Uncle Dave, and you will know from your peak era, what, 19 years ago. This was one of the main matches that put TNA on the map around the time, right? The X Division was kind
Was
of
indeed, yeah. It was,
the X Division was kind of message board, quite everyone was quite high on it, and then you got Joe Daniels and Adrian from Loki, and Sanjay Dutt and whomever, but these three were the kind of the flag bearers.
yeah. This was, you could say, TNA's equivalent to like the IC belt, right? The working man's title. So these are all, the best workers at the time. And just to show it as well, this is actually ends up being the main event of the pay-per-view. The X Division title, or obviously the TN, I think it was the T, it was the NWA belt was still there, wasn't it, at this time?
NWA was there till
World
'06
Heavyweight
when Kurt
title,
won
which
it,
is the
yeah.
main belt, it was, I think, the second co-main event, wasn't it?
I think was it Rhino and Raven? Oh, it
Raven.
might be, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rhino and Raven.
around that time, Jeff Jarrett was the guy. He was basically Triple H. If you think of Triple H in the Reign of Terror, that was Jeff. And then he dropped the belt every 12 months to a babyface that had been built up, whether it be Sting or Christian Cage, Kurt Angle, whomever. Um, but yeah, Jeff Jarrett's Reign of Terror. But this was, I remember around this time, kind of just getting ECW One Night Stand kind of got me back. All right, just having a little look over the fence. And then when I heard ECW was coming back and the Punker was coming back, big Punker fan from 20 years ago, I got back into the Fed, and '06 to '08 WWE was awful. Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And TNA was a stark contrast, sorry, where if I'm not mistaken, Leachy, Bravo, 10 o'clock Thursdays.
Yes, I think that was correct. Yeah.
Yeah, the good old days. JJ, have you ever gone back and watched
It
any of
was
this stuff?
Spike TV in America, right? And then it was, I don't know, I can't remember if it was live or not, or whether it was taped and it was the day after
The
in the
tape
UK.
the tape 4 shows in 2 days, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why the talent could go
So
work indie dates elsewhere.
I didn't watch religiously at this time, but it would be one of those things where if I'm watching telly and it happens to be on, then I'll switch it on. But I was a WWE fan, and it would be like, oh, there's Jeff Hardy, I'll watch this, or like you spot someone that there's Kurt Angle, there's Jeff Jarrett kind of thing, I'll tune in. To me, it seemed like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you mentioned like it's the IC title of working, but it kind of seemed like a bit of a high flyers belt to me. Or would you disagree with that?
Yeah,
I mean,
it was kind of like
obviously, what
the cruiserweight version.
it was
And
more prestigious, wasn't it?
yeah,
In
because you
terms of
had
prestige, it was like I see, but different kind of
You
different kind of
because
people
a lot of the
going for it.
matches, JJ, were like they used to suspend the belt above the ring and the big X as well, didn't they? I think a bit later
Ultimate
on.
X.
And ultimately, yeah, Ultimate X match. So ultimately, it lended to like the ladder match style of competitor. But as we'll see, Samoa Joe was not a high flyer, and he was
True.
big in that division. He basically propped that division up later.
If you listen in Jeff Jarrett's podcast at My World Pod on Twitter and Instagram, is brilliant because he says he speaks so articulately about a challenger brand, and this is why I could see him end up booking AW someday. He said you have to be different because if you're too similar to the market leader, you almost automatically become less than. So we would do things like, okay, and people didn't like it, but the King of the Mountain match, right? Which was basically like, and they have the Reverse Battle Royal, and they had Ultimate X, they had Elevation X, they had an all steel cage match with Lockdown,
Monsters Ball was that one?
Monsters Ball, which was kind of what I think Raven did it in ROH first. But he said we were basically looking to do anything that kind of made us stand out, right? The six-sided ring, why do it? Okay, people flicking through going, I've not seen that before. Just trying to do anything that separates us from the WWE. And I mean, my probably biggest gripe with AEW the last 12, 18 months is they've been too similar. And to the point where WWE's actually got hot and not actually been able to book properly, they've actually become the better company. So I understand what he was trying to do. And the X division was the the phrasing behind the X division was there's no limits. There's no age barrier. If you're big enough, you're quick enough, whatever. But it was basically like an IC title match for the kind of the cross between the WCW cruiserweight belt. So it was more like, as you said, it was the workers' belt. It was people who, if there's a big attraction match, a Biss versus Sabu, or loads of bollocks in the main event, these two guys are going to do 4.5 stars and send people home happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, this time I think Samoa Joe was off the back of being the two, more or less like a Ring of Honor World Champion for like 600 days, 550 days. By the end of 04, he's come to TNA in the summer of 06, summer of 05. AJ Styles has already been a world champion. Christopher Daniels has already been tag champion, X Division champion, and these three guys are sort of given the license to steal the show. And if you listen to AJ back, he said like, yeah, we actually missed a couple of spots here, and we were kind of pressed for time at the end. Like they thought they could have gone even better, but for me, this is probably one of the best examples of a three-way, the best examples of three wrestlers combining. Oh my God. Do you remember what JJ one time we did a podcast last year and Lissy starts talking about a hot wife and me and JJ start giggling like, what? Your wife's very beautiful, John. Never mind. But yeah, I can't think of a better three-way dance, Leachy. Can you enlighten me?
If someone says to me, name one of your best triple threat matches, this one always comes to my thoughts straight away.
There's nothing that sings out.
I mean, on the WWE side, you got, was it Benoit,
Shawn Michaels, HBK,
Benoit, Jericho, Angle, where two titles were up for grabs. I think it was European and the
WrestleMania
IC.
2000.
Yeah, that was all right. That was all right, but they does not compare to this. This is
there's our draw in ECW, which was Shane Douglas, Sabu, and Terry Funk, which was the first one in North America. That was the night the line was crossed, I think, back in '93. But there's nothing else really. I'm not a big fan of the matches really because it just seems a bit difficult to. You basically know someone's going to get beaten up and like roll out to the ring for like a couple of minutes, right? And you swap places. Whereas this was the first time it was really done where it made sense, right? Or you had Joe beating them both up, or AJ and Daniels had already been tag team champions beforehand, so they teamed up against Joe, who's the bigger guy, right? Stuff made sense.
But also, like, isn't this not the first time in history where they actually have a proper rematch out of this as well, don't they? Right? They have a rematch in 2009, 2008?
2009.
The match is on TNA. The full match is on the TNA YouTube channel, right? They do it again before. I think they did it a few months later as well.
Yeah, so they knew there was money in it.
This is when Russo was booking TNA.
Well, I mean, this goes against everything that every historian tells you, because it's actually a good
old shit stain.
Well booked match. Like, yeah.
We'll see. JJ, what if anything have you watched of this era, like TNA 05, which is kind of like a forgotten relic of the past?
Honestly, I wouldn't follow along the stories week to week. It would just be like, if it's on TV, I'd flick it on and I'd watch the match and I wouldn't know who half the people were or what the fuck was going on, but just good wrestling and just enjoying that. It wasn't a case of it would be hard for me to kind of pick out, oh, I saw this match, I didn't see this match, because it was literally just flick it on and watch and enjoy, even though like I really had very limited kind of knowledge around what was actually happening. If that makes sense.
Yeah, Leachy, around this time as well, you were probably like me. I remember flicking through the channels. Like, I used to play a lot of online poker back then. So you'd be up at like 12, 2 o'clock, flicking through. And I think 432 might have been the wrestling channel. And I would see like old TNA matches are old. One of the first matches that ever like drew me in, I saw it, and it was AJ Styles versus Paul London. I can't remember. It might have been like something like unforgettable, but it was the please don't die. Please don't die.
Yeah.
And
have you
AJ giving him that.
Have you seen Paul London on the Indies when he did the Indies after he left WWE?
He got sacked after he laughed. Did he not laugh when Vince got fired in that fake limo angle and then he got sacked?
Yeah.
Is that right? I didn't see anything.
Yeah. I met Paul London once at Preston City Wrestling.
Did you have a selfie with him?
No, I had a cigarette with him in the smoking section. All the rest.
Wait, did he not have? Did he form a tag team with Danielson called like JJ? Google this. I've got no keyboard. Paul London and Bryan Danielson tag team. They were like. They do a famous promo where they act like dolphins.
Yeah. No, it's the Dolphins. Yeah, I put it in the chat
like.
about a year ago, right? It's Danielson, It's Generico and London.
That's
Steen, and Steen's the cameraman, right? It's a very famous
Generico to you, JJ, would be Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn, yeah. They
Yeah.
did the
Well, is that true?
bees, the bees and the dolphins.
I'm pretty sure El Generico is in Mexico.
Generic luchador.
I think it's just similar styles, to be honest, mate.
The bees and the
I think
dolphins.
that you're right there.
It's the bees and the dolphins promo. It was crazy.
Like for someone who is so serious, like you think Danielson, right, Mr. Grab a Hole technical wrestler, he did such silly shit. In the summer of 06 as he's world champion, like he's 9 months into he would start like doing what he called like the sexy party dance. Whoa. And he got over it. He would start beating people with a small package and call himself Mr. Small Package. Fucking Danielson's the best. Anyway,
15 years ago that promo was, by the way. I just found it.
But
oh, they did one at PWG as well. It's PWG.
That's the one at PWG I'm thinking of, where Danielson just bursts out laughing in between, and London's quite serious. That's right, we're the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's if you're googling it, it's PWG 100. Paul London and Brian Danielson. That's the promo.
I imagine you must have had like a million message board different usernames 15 years ago, Leach.
Not really, mate. I was on the Wrestling Observer board. I'll come off that quite a few years ago, but no,
back when it was good.
Wasn't like, for example, you had like what was it Lords of Wrestling? What was did you ever go on those forums?
I was on the ROH message board, and it was like a Pro Wrestling Report one, I think.
My torrent site was Extreme Wrestling Torrents.
Yeah, I was on there.
On there, yeah.
Probably shouldn't admit that, right? In case we get sued.
I never downloaded anything from that. I just like
we just looked. Yeah,
message boards, right?
If anything, just even look. Actually, yeah. But yeah, I was known as I was JGM Sports, but I had a couple of different pseudonyms. One of them was the American Dragon's British cousin, which it's very embarrassing to mention. Like, we don't talk about wrestling for the missus because it's Jack, you're 36 years old. What's wrong with you? Just leave me alone. I'm watching some old Ric Flair promos from 1986. Anyway, right, Unbreakable 05. We're going to start with the video package. Leach, tell us the time.
We should let people know that it is available for free on YouTube. So we'll put the link in the YouTube channel. But if you're listening on the audio
platforms, the link this time as well.
Just search. Well, we'll just search Unbreakable 2005 on YouTube. It's on the official TNA channel.
And we will start at 2:19:10, and we will click play. If you two are both ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
In 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
We're gonna see who's good enough to face Christopher Daniels.
Joe is in unbelievable. To be fair, Christopher Daniels in 05 is
Daniels looks
pretty fucking phenomenal.
To sacrifice in pursuit of
So
destiny.
JJ, to give you some context,
it was
if you remember the old Ministry of Darkness stuff, right, in 1999 with Vince McMahon and Stone Cold, Christopher Daniels was going to be the higher power, right? So, spoiler alert, 25 years ago next month, it would have been Stone Cold against Vince and Shane in a ladder match. Somebody raises the briefcase. So Russo, right? For control of the company. Somebody raises the briefcase, and it would have been turned out to be the higher power, who the Undertaker answered to, which was Christopher Daniels. But Vince was like, yeah, no one's going to believe that. He's 6 foot, he's skinny, little bastard. Why would anyone answer to him? Like, Undertaker's 6 or 7 foot, get a grip. So they just dropped the storyline, and Daniels remained in developmental. So Daniels was in the first ever Ring of Honor main event against Loki and Bryan Danielson, and was kind of like a journeyman already at that stage in 2002. What, 22 years ago?
Yeah,
and he's just been retired.
He's still wrestling today.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
not anymore.
I say still wrestling today.
Yeah. On
the P7.
When's he just gone, right?
Yeah, I mean, he wrestled last night, but he's been fired now, so that might be it.
He got 30 days. He got a month's salary, so he'll be fine. And AJ
Do you think
Styles
that he's been let go of his talent relations job as well, or is it just as an in-ring competitor?
I mean,
it wasn't made clear.
Like Sidgwick has said, right, he can still work from home. Like, surely. Just get him out of the building. That's what TK's doing, right? He's still booking from Jacksonville.
Yeah, they can't fire TK. He owns the company, but they fired Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, all makes sense, doesn't it? Fucking nonsense.
The double German.
Have you seen any of last night's Dynamite, Jack?
No,
You refused to watch the
I
Jericho
listened.
stuff, which was actually all right, but
I can't. No, I did. I saw the clips on Twitter. I just can't watch. He's tried to turn it around. Like, yeah, you all hate me. But no. Don't try and fucking work me. No. I'm not having this. He knows what he's doing. We all know what he's doing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
I'm
buying
not
into
falling
it.
for
the
that.
thing is, the Young Bucks are already doing a similar gimmick and doing it better.
Which is what Cedric said, right? And they started it first. And he said,
Yeah,
"Hang
there
on,
you go.
this is getting over." Hello, which is what he's done for like the last 3 or 4 years, right? Orange Cassidy, Eddie Kingston, MJF. Anything that has got remotely hot, I love a bit of that. Thanks. What's that? Will Ospreay at Wembley. Give it to you, boy.
Was Joe, by the way, just we're going on this package, like, who brought in the towel gimmick before Joe?
Taz.
Taz,
Yeah.
the white towel.
Oh my God, Shane Douglas doing interviews. I had no idea.
Yeah, I've just seen Larry Sabisco as well. Forgot, was he general manager at this point?
And speaking of ripped off gimmicks, if you look, ECW, Shane Douglas was world champion in '98 for about 8, 9 months. He was called the franchise. He started wearing those, I don't know the name from the Samuel L. Jackson leather hats backwards. And the jeans, and he was quite roided up there, and he had Francine with him. Triple H was definitely like 40 months later, was basically that gimmick. No one ever mentions it, ever. But, you know. Anyway, this time Samoa Joe is unbeaten.
Undefeated.
Oh, there you go. Undefeated Samoa Joe's title shot. And he was unbeaten until
One fall to a finish.
this match is scheduled for one fall.
One ball.
He was unbeaten until Kurt Angle came in a year later.
I don't spoil this match.
Look at that. Joey's in phenomenal shape here.
It's quite slim there, isn't he?
He's big, but he's like thick. He looks like.
Yeah. I mean, my mind casting back now, I thought he was pretty fat back then, but compared to today's Samoa Joe.
Leachy, did you go to the 5th year festival in the UK when ROH came in 07?
No, I didn't.
Really?
No.
Well, that was if you remember, that was Joe's like retirement. He was like he's leaving ROH.
Where did he hold it?
They had so the 5th year festival was God. I had all the DVD. I still got a box of the DVDs down here.
Is it somewhere down London or is it?
They had they had 4 different events in America, and then they came over and they did 2. They did 1 in Liverpool, and I think they did 1 in London. And his last ever ROH match, I think he wrestled Homicide, who had just won and lost the belt to Morishima.
These three guys, right? All of them have kept their original gimmicks, haven't they? Really, always close to.
I miss AJ being called the
Phenomenal.
Fallen
Still
been a
phenomenal.
phenomenal one.
Christopher
Samoa
Daniels
Joe
was the Fallen
been-
Angel, and I loved his old entrance in ROH was like, yeah, we wrestle, we're all serious, and he'd come out as this like priest with Alison Danger and dressed in
Yeah.
Alison Danger being Steve Carino's younger sister.
Now I might be wrong
He
on
just-
this. Was he the one who had the book? That's the Book of Truth that I'm thinking of. That's
The book.
remember the Book of Truth?
Yeah, that was the prophecy, right?
The prophecy, it's not.
Yeah.
That's after Daniels, isn't it? It's a very similar gimmick, though.
In ROH old backstory, it was Christopher Daniels who brought Samoa Joe in to beat up Loki.
Danielson looks exactly the same, man. I mean, I guess once you're already bald, like
Yeah, Borash looks young.
Jeremy Borish's haircut. He's like you say, he's so 2000s.
honestly, it's the most 2005
Yeah.
haircut you've seen.
He just needs a few blonde highlights,
really
right?
shit. It was like John Travolta.
When the bell rings, the man in charge.
AJ was like super. He was even in 05. AJ was the face of TNA.
Now, ladies and gentlemen.
So for me, like obviously, like I said, I would just channel hop. I didn't know much about AJ Styles, but it was one of those ones that you just heard about. Like this guy is amazing, like does stuff in the ring that you never seen. But I remember like when I first saw him, like it just looks so generic, so boring. Do you know what I mean? Just
Just a ripped,
just a normal
6 foot
haircut,
guy.
just like from the world of WWE where everyone was so like they all looked completely unique and I don't know. Like the top guys are all
WWE,
instantly
people look
recognizable.
He weighed in this morning.
They're instantly recognizable. If you think of the top guys,
Pounds.
like whether it's different hair or different outfit, whatever it is. You could take the top guys, you could pick out something about them that would be unique. Whereas AJ just trunks and a regular haircut, clean cut looking guy. There was nothing kind of stand out about him. Do you know what I mean?
Kind of,
I
yeah.
mean, the way
I
I
mean,
would
Vince would never
compare
let
it here-
people have like black people wrestle against each other if they had black trunks. They had to have different gear just so you could
Yeah.
differentiate them.
Well, do you not think though that you actually say that the AJ Styles we're looking at now is Will Ospreay of maybe 3 years ago, where people go, "Oh, I've heard of Will Ospreay," but then if you looked at him 3 years ago, he did look quite plain, had the haircut, plain. You know, he's upped his game now, right?
Yes.
I did watch Ospreay's promo last night. I do think he's winning the belt. The Double or Nothing. This is
Yeah,
fun.
Well, what's he going to do with the international belt though? Is he just going to give that up?
I think when he wrestles
Not even
Swerve,
in
they merged the belts a bit a la Danielson McGuinness at Unified. They have too many titles.
What's going to happen with is Cody's going to do the same though against Logan Paul? It's Cody versus Logan Paul title for title at King of the Ring.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I think you've
Oh,
misreported that, you know, because I watched that, and Cody seemed to just assume that the US title was on the line, and then
Well,
people,
that's what he tweeted out. That's what he tweeted out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's going to win both belts. But,
Do you know what? But I mean, he can't lose the match. So it's either a
no,
non-finish.
he can't. So it's either going to be a stupid finish, which I don't think they'll do.
Double
Unless-
DQ
another
by
main event.
heel who gets involved, and then you've got next program.
Yeah, because it's almost like a glorified house show, isn't it? Like, so it's
Of course
not
it is. They get paid 50 million. You
yeah.
don't need to do anything stupid. Why would you save that match for where you can actually draw money?
Oh, mate, standard definition's so bad, isn't it? HDs.
been spoiled, Leach.
Great invention. All these cradles.
Do you get the full HD experience on Triller?
You do, yeah.
See, the dodgy
Triller
websites
Leach.
that I have don't all have it.
Oh, mate, so bad. Well, yeah, 720p or something.
That's what you got to settle for, mate. At best, 1080, but
People taking photos.
The rare thing about this one is that they were used to getting people when they did the TV tapings, right, which would be a Monday, Tuesday. So after this, I think this was like a Sunday night. They would film a month worth of television in the next 2 days, and they get people who were just going around Orlando Resort, right? On a Sunday night, you'd actually get the wrestling fans to come down for a pay-per-view. So you get actually a hot crowd rather than just people who go, yeah, wrestling. Woohoo! I know that guy. That's D'Lo Brown. Yeah, D'Lo.
You know what? One thing I've not
Like
noticed.
to your point, JJ, about recognizing WWE guys, the pay-per-views are always hot because they're TNA guys.
Yeah.
Mm.
One thing I've only just noticed really is, or I've thought about is, obviously the ring is hexagon, right? But so is the
Six-sided ring,
crowd, isn't it? The crowd has to be hexagon as well, doesn't it?
Oh, with
Yeah,
the barriers, yeah.
Yeah, the barriers. Like, I mean, did you ever go and watch
Oh,
TNA when they had this ring?
Inzaguri Bulldog. That's just tits.
I never went and saw TNA with a setup, so I never experienced.
I've never
it.
seen a TNA live show, so
I
don't know
went
if you ever saw the Hex
07,
ring, Jack.
08. I went to a house show at the Olympia in Liverpool.
But was it a hexagonal ring or square?
Yeah, six-sided ring. It was class.
Oh, was
There
it?
you go.
Where were you?
It
Were
was
you?
AJ versus Petey Williams versus Jay Lethal in a three-way match for the
Oh, but that was good.
X Division title. I think Petey was champion. I might have and like Jay Lethal, right? Jay Lethal just had to get pinned. And main event was, I think, Samoa Joe versus Abyss. Kurt must have been legit hurt because Kurt came and addressed the crowd. I had my old I had like an old flip phone. Then I've got some photos somewhere. Like you think this quality shit? Like think of a Motorola flip phone from 07 or 08.
Razor. The old Motorola Razor, legendary phone.
And but yeah, Kurt. I think Kurt was advertised, but came out and got a promo instead. It was a great show. Good fun. Before I became like miserable and cynical with the wrestling world. I think I got back into watching wrestling like 05, 06, been watching a bit of WWE, and then 1018 is actually quite good actually. Pass it on until Hogan and Bischoff came on and ruined wrestling.
Who's the referee then, Jack? Do you know?
I don't know, and I feel like embarrassed. I should know. Do you know? Are you going to
It's
tell
funny
me?
when the encyclopedia of Jack falters.
Yeah, I was testing him because I recognize his face. He definitely was in WWE, right?
Rudy Charles. Yes, I did know that. Jeff Jarrett always goes on. Jeff Jarrett's podcast, honestly, is so good because he speaks such sense. And the thing is, when I was that's classed by Daniels. If you watch along with us, by the way, it's 231, 47, 48, 49, 50. Asai Moonsault called it.
Daniels is outside.
Catch by Joe. I hated Jarrett as a kid. Hated him. Like, and I understand, even in WCW, right? I thought this entitled prick. He's come across. He's been offered a lot of money. Russo loves him. I know it's a work, but still. And then listening to him like 25 years later, he just understands the business of the business of the business. Oh,
I get that with
What I was
Bischoff.
going to ask was,
I get that feeling when I listen to Bischoff's show. I was listening to his 83 Weeks and Strictly Business as well.
you love Bischoff.
Yeah, man. Bischoff talks the game as well. But he comes from a different perspective than Jarrett because he's not.
I
born,
mean,
right?
he
He was a
Bischoff
salesman
banked up
and
the
he got
company.
into it. So
Yeah.
what I was going to ask was, have you heard of any wrestlers from this era in TNA talking about the difficulties of working with a six-sided ring versus obviously coming up and being used to a four-sided ring? Because it is quite a difference, right? Like where you're springing off the ropes, when you're like that spot there where Christopher Daniels has come off and blocked Samoa Joe's whatever the move was when he was springing off the ropes, like that collision. I feel like that's quite hard to get.
I don't think I've
Or
heard
maybe
anybody
not.
complain about it. Like everyone's just like you just get used to
Not
it.
complain necessarily, but just like, yeah, it's
the differences. I mean,
something
I
different to
think
learn.
it was. I think I saw
this is
Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle mentioned nice drop kick. Kurt
Leach,
Angle's-
before
you have to think about
Okada,
it more.
AJ best drop kick in the game.
Well, Bob Holly was a pretty decent drop kick, right?
AJ would always do
That's the only thing I remember it for,
leapfrog,
so.
drop down, big. By the way, to your point from 2 weeks ago, Dusty Road shirt, you can get that at nocontextflair.etsy.com because why would you not wear your own shirts and plug it every week? Every week.
You're allowed to sell that.
Anyway, JJ, another point. 2 weeks ago, I didn't realize I'd put your rendition of Cody on X at No Context Dusty. I sent it in a DM to Cody.
Yeah.
He double tapped with a heart. We got a reply.
Look at that.
So this is our friends.
Just don't let him see this and see that you're selling Dusty merch still.
He doesn't watch. To celebrate you winning, retaining the title, like John had to celebrate. So here you go. Have a look at this.
So Cody Rhodes has watched me do karaoke of his theme tune.
Well,
Phenomenal.
he liked my message, so he at least saw the.
Doesn't
tweet.
mean they actually watched the video.
No,
Yeah,
but you'd at least be like curious. You'd have looked like 10 seconds in. Yeah,
I'll take it. It.
I did.
When I meet him at Vegas WrestleMania next year, I'll mention it to him, see if he remembers.
Thing is, don't even remember sending that. Must have been absolutely shit faced.
Well, I don't think you were that drunk, but you're obviously very tired because we're in a karaoke bar. It's very fucking loud. You sat down on a chair, and 5 minutes later, you were passed out. It was quite special.
The photo you took of me, my board looks phenomenal. So thanks for that. Because Larry was like,
You're welcome.
JJ's a good cameraman. Thanks. Second on the way.
What's your thoughts on Don West then being one of the most underrated public commentators?
He got so much stick back in the day, but I love it. Like his enthusiasm, right? He's like a modern day David Crockett.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of comparisons out there where he probably got voted the worst commentator maybe on Wrestling Observer or something in 1 year, but
Springboard, corkscrew.
Oh,
Did Joey Styles ever do TNA, or was he just ECW and then WWF?
He went to WWE and started commentating on Raw in like early 06. And then
Because I remember he cut that promo on Jerry the King Lawler, right?
About how.
Do you remember that? I don't know if that's a
so he came in 06, but he basically left because he was off to go ECW. But he basically ran the website for, I want to say, like a decade behind the scenes. Okay, we've got an ad right now.
By the way, JJ, that corkscrew off the top there, with you saying earlier that when you tuned in and thought it was like just normal, but You weren't doing that in WWE, where that was one move. That's like
Save
when
those
you
bumps,
move
brother.
AEW today. It's like, oh, that's different. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it definitely wasn't how the moves and stuff and how he performed in the ring. It was just his look that was very like
very
generic.
generic. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, if you got a body like that, though, I'd just be wearing pants. You know what I mean?
But then, like at the time, I was like 15, 16, had only ever watched WWE, WWF. So you've got that whole. I don't know. There's something in your brain that just makes you think a certain way about it until you kind of watch properly this kind of stuff, and then you're like, oh, okay, it can be a different style. Fed brained is what the kids call it.
You reckon, Jack? Definitely, Daniels is calling this match, right?
Jack's disappeared.
Disappeared.
Yeah, we've lost him. Joe just does like the size of him. It's not that he's like, there were bigger people in the wrestling world, but it's just like
Oh yeah.
the thickness and like the weight that he looks like he puts behind those moves.
Yeah, the
So
stiff,
powerful.
it's real, like it's solid work.
So speed as well, right? Like you didn't really see big men that would quit.
No.
And you see it all the time these days, like people like Wardlow and Keith Lee that can do outrageous things with their body, even though they're big. But you're used to in this era, Big Show or Taker, who just moved around the ring very slowly and methodically. They weren't running around, doing stuff like that.
I mean, I think Joe here is basically what we got with Gunther, what we've had with Gunther the last couple of years, right? It's like an
AJ was a bumping machine. back in
unbeaten,
the day as
solid,
well.
stiff.
Oh, how many adverts, man?
You not got YouTube Premium, man. You need to shell out for that, right? It's,
Fucking hell, Leach, YouTube Premium Triller. Like, how much you earn on the side here?
YouTube Premium is
It's like
like
compliance
a
badge.
necessary thing.
I need to start selling violence studies.
To be fair, I don't have YouTube Premium, but I've not had a single advert throughout this, so I don't know what you're doing wrong here, Jack.
mean,
What
I'm
was I
logged in
was
on the
going to
mainly
ask you?
golf
Speaking
shots.
of Gunther, I was going to ask, what do you guys think for King and Queen of the Ring? I mean, it seems to me like Gunther's got it in the bag, right? It's going to be Gunther versus Jey Uso final, is it? I'm not 100% sure on the brackets.
Now they're in the semis, aren't they? I think.
Oh, are they in the semis? Okay,
And they were
fine.
already. I think so. Yeah. If it's Gunther versus Jey Uso, I think on the other side is. I'll get the brackets.
Main event, Jay. So, Leach, you give us a time check.
We're at 2:39:03:04:05.
Sorry, Leach, go on.
Let's go to SEScoops.com for the scoops.
Yes, Gunther's been built up as Cody's big Dragon Slayer for SummerSlam, in my opinion.
Right. So for the men's, yeah. So there's one semi-final.
That move by Joe was absolute tits, by the way.
And then the other,
Jack, I'm trying to listen.
Tamatonga, LA Knight, Kamalo Hayes,
Okay.
Randy Orton. So it's
Okay, so it's going to be Randy Orton versus Tamatonga, is it?
I think
I have no
Knight
idea.
wins by DQ or something. I think something stupid's got like they've got a lot of interlocking sort of storylines going on in this tournament, which is great. So I can see a couple of feuds branching off from some DQs.
You could see, yeah, okay, interesting.
Well, I mean, Jey Uso originally wasn't in this, was he? So my opinion
No,
is
it's true, right?
He didn't win it anyway, right? So
No, but he'll be beat by Gunther for sure.
I mean, LA Knight. I mean, does that what suits what gimmick though? Like, you're not gonna have someone in the bloodline, are you? Brand new Tamatonga walking around as the king when he's not in charge of the bloodline, right? Kamalo Hayes, potentially. Randy Orton will probably say, I don't want to win it. It's a stupid gimmick. LA
It's amazing,
Knight.
by the way.
It's interesting, you're probably right. Gunther's probably nailed on there, right?
Mm.
And then
And what about the women's side?
Queen of the Ring, we've got Io Sky
Tiffany
versus
Stratton.
Lyra Valkyria, which is a lock-in semi-final. Then we're waiting. The interesting one for me now is you've got Jade versus Nia Jax, Bianca Belair versus Tiffany Stratton, and they can draw each other in the semi-finals.
Tiffany's
I
against
think Tiffany wins.
Tiffany's against Bianca Belair.
I don't think they'll draw each other in the semi-finals. I think
No,
that
that's
they'll
what it
keep
is.
them
That's the,
apart
yeah, yeah. That's
for
well,
now.
yeah. One of them has to lose, right? The tag titles, tag champions. One of them has to lose.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's Tiffany that wins it because I got a bet on her, but I
Yeah.
guess the favourite's
price?
Bianca. I don't know. Can't
Yeah.
remember off the top of my head. Massive.
But again, like they've
Who's?
just become tag champions, so they've already got like a story, right? And eventually they'll end up going against each other. I
Yeah.
imagine. So I can see Nia Jax beating Jade, some sneaky way. Tiffany beating, I know, but would you have Tiffany versus Nia? Probably Tiffany versus Jade, right?
I think Tiffany is. I'm obviously a cynic of modern day stuff. That girl has it. She will main event at WrestleMania, 100%.
100%.
She has the charisma. She has the ability to cut a promo. She's believable. She's credible, and she can go. I couldn't believe how good. I'd seen clips of her online, and then I watched that. Was it the Elimination Chamber?
Mm.
Wow,
Yeah.
this girl.
And she did
looks-
gymnastics.
and I watched the
trade,
match
right?
with
The background
Becky.
was gymnastics.
Oh, that's a nice. That's a nice move by Daniels.
That's what I like
Yeah.
about this
So-
this King of the Ring tournament. I don't know who's going to win for sure, so that's great, isn't it? I'm tuned into that.
It's well booked. Like,
Yeah, I've got the double Gunther 11-10 and Tiffy 3-1
I got
as a double.
I
4 to
think if
5
I
and
wanted to
twos.
be on anything, I'd be on that. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't cap like, but I'd prefer to be on that.
Yeah.
JJ
Happy that
Mariah May
passes.
into Mariah May into 5-2 to be next women's champion.
I know. What have I got? Right, 10-1 with you.
Nines.
These nice legal forearms.
I've got it listed at 10 here, but
Nice legal
we can look into
forearm.
that.
Legal forearms, like, even though they're rivals, you know what I mean?
Love that tilt-a-whirl
Technically, this is a
powerbomb.
no DQ match as well, right?
No, no. No.
It's a three-way. Yeah, has to be.
So legal forearms. Appreciate it.
What referee? Mike Chioda would always be the guy. If someone throws a fist, right? Mike Chioda.
Just their side does it about 12
Go
times.
close
I
fist.
mean, he'd be doing this all the time, AEW, wouldn't he? Like,
You ready? He's calling for it. This is never mind the prettiest moonsault ever. The BME was goated.
that was the best, wasn't it?
1, 2, 3. Best moonsault ever. Cover that man.
Beautiful.
Ah.
Beautiful.
Oh, just a big slap.
The good thing for me is I have no idea who wins this. So you guys obviously know what the finish is, and I'm enjoying this for the first time. So no spoilers. Usually Jack would have spoiled it by now, but
Yeah, he's already spoiled it earlier, but you mustn't have
These
heard me
three
say.
did a Crossroads.
Oh, Crossroads.
These three did a series of matches in basically early mid 06 in ROH in different combinations. I remember there was a 4-way including these three and Jimmy Yang. And they'd
Was that
recycle
elimination?
You
Did
mean
they do
Wang Yang?
elimination one?
yeah. In
Yeah.
like some WrestleMania show for ROH. I want to say maybe Dragon Gate Challenge. I'm not sure. But anyway, they'd have like singles matches or different 3-ways or 4-ways, and they just recycled the same spots because they were so good. And like if you're a 500 crowd in Dayton, Ohio, or Philadelphia, New York, whatever, look at that move by AJ. He doesn't do that anymore.
I don't think.
sure.
I'm sure he can do it, but I'm sure he doesn't want to do it anymore. Right? Probably doesn't.
How many fans did they pack into this place when at capacity? Do you know, Jack?
I think 1,800.
Okay, not bad. And when
But
you said they were doing the TV tapings, right? Was it always like full for those tapings? I mean, they just drag people in and go, "Come on, come in, it's free," kind of thing. Or was
Yeah.
it like you could see when it was the first night that they started recording, and then by the time it gets to the end of that monthly cycle, probably people filtering out because they've been there for 8 hours or something.
Maybe
You said they
yeah.
do like a whole month in a lot.
Yeah, they do like 4 weeks TV in 2 days. But I mean, Jeff Jarrett said like you'd get like the hardcore guys turn up and just they'd pay to get into the Orlando Resort just to go watch the wrestling, and they'd queue up. Whereas normally you just like you kind of wander through like, oh, what's this part? What are they filming over here? Because I think they must film like different TV shows, right? But there'd be a hardcore set of like 300-400 fans who'd just come down and loved it. They used to be in the fairgrounds in Nashville. What's it called? The old
Okay.
the TNA Asylum, and they had the similar, a bit like that was their version of the ECW arena.
Mhm.
You could tell this is a different time. Oh, I used to love this set. You ready? 1, 2, Boston. Oh, in the SDF.
Straight in.
Somebody teach John Cena how to put that hold on.
God, John
Sorry?
Cena really needs to lock that in.
John Cena doesn't really play the SDF very well.
That's a different move though. That's the STFU. So
Yeah, I suppose.
Actually,
John
Can't
Cena
see him
doesn't
anywhere.
do much because he's so strong. You know what I mean? He just has to. He just puts pinky.
you get to. I mean, Joe's calling spots now, so I mean, cameraman, change your angle, pal. Grab the rope. Grab the rope. Thanks.
One thing I
The
don't
first
know:
time-
do we
the
get
first time-
color in this match? I don't think we do, but I can't remember.
What's that, DJ?
We get color in this match.
Don't think so. I was gonna say, like, look at the canvas. I think Raven bled in the last match, right?
It was
And
a
it
blood-
wasn't
yeah,
really
it was a
cleaned
blood
up. You
match
can
in
see
Portland.
there. Would never happen today.
that.
It's just the fact Joe was just such a beat. Oh, the Pele kick.
There he is.
Joe Selly was just
That looks so
phenomenal.
weak.
Angle slam.
That looks so weak.
I mean,
No, he didn't.
Oh, that's it. That's impressive.
AJ's doing the torture rack. Didn't realize he did that.
ooh.
1, 2. No. Don Westwood. So Don Westwood's doing co-commentary, right? I don't know how much you've seen him in JJ. He was like one of the best salesmen of all
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
He
mate,
would
no,
be
Can you remember the YouTube? There's a clip on YouTube. Something about
Don's
20
deals.
when they're running, when they run, the wrestlers run past the commentary booth, and he's reading off a script.
No, I've not seen
And
this.
Don West is like going, "Oh my god, what's going on in the back?" He's reading off a piece of paper. Like, so good. I'll link you that.
Third advert. TNA
Him
absolutely.
Anthony.
Why don't you give me a time check? Because I'm
Time is 2:48, 13, 14, 15, 16. Styles Clash.
oh, this is so annoying.
Joe broke up the pin. You got it?
Still alive. Oh, look at there. AJ gets thrown.
No.
That's the smoke.
It won't let me skip forward a bit. Let me try. I want to track it. We'll get in trouble.
I doubt it. It's free on their YouTube channel, right?
I'm at 2:48:31. Are we close?
2:48, 51, 52, 53.
Okay, thank you.
The drop down move. And
That'll
Joe
do.
goes right through the ring ropes and crashes in front of the arena.
Joe's on the outside. Daniels is looking on. Daniels the champion, right? So, by the way, tremendous waxing jobs on these three. I don't think I've seen a single bit of chest there.
This is opportunity right here.
Just
Yeah, I'll send you a link to that video in the chat, mate. Yeah, chat. It is worth watching.
now this it is a series of like spots. This is class. Oh, I don't Leach. I don't want to. Don't pull back the curtain, man. Kayfabe, brother.
Jack lives in a kayfabe world.
Poor Don as well. He's not here to defend himself. He's dead. Right, this JJ. Watch this sequence by these two.
Okay.
These are best mates as well.
That was it.
Awesome. Joe's on the outside. He's a killer. He's undefeated
Yeah.
in TNA.
Yeah, still unbeaten in terms of pin. They did not change now to I've never been pinned or submitted.
So my best. The weird thing is, so this was what, September 05, and then by I want to say Bound for Glory, maybe lockdown the year after, AJ and Daniels were winning the tag belts off LAX.
I love how Daniels is selling
phenomenal.
this like it's the absolute end of his life, right?
He lived
Yeah,
and breathed
that
by
was
the X
me
Division
talking
title
about.
around this time. Yeah, he was the guy. To be fair, and again, listening to like the Dynamite review, the House of Black Edge stuff sounds, oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean,
The bell means fuck all, but I've got your wedding ring. I'm gonna cut up you.
Oh, God.
Not for me.
Now is his
I'm
wife
not really into.
under a contract?
I don't
With
think so.
Phoenix,
She
isn't it?
was commentating for a bit, right? But
Yeah.
that was a while back.
I haven't
don't
seen
think
it
she is.
online. I don't know if anyone's saying, "Oh, this means his
She's
wife's going to
in
turn up."
NXT, right? Commentating.
So she's under
I
contract
didn't.
with you then.
I don't watch NXT, but I didn't think she was anymore.
No, well, she's not on NXT anymore. Oh,
Yeah.
Daniel's still
She's
selling this like he's
Mania or something on it.
he's lost the will to live.
Mhm.
Phenomenal.
There you
Good
go.
match.
Great match.
Yeah, and then they just suggested for me up next against all odds 2005 full pay-per-view. You got Jarrett versus Nash, Hardy versus Abyss, and Styles v Daniels.
Jarrett
I'm
versus
guessing that was the
Nash.
next pay-per-view.
Oh boy.
That's the thing, though. It makes sense, right? Because you're getting on two people on there. This is what I was talking about. When I'm flicking through, if I used to watch WCW and I know Kevin Nash or I know Jeff Jarrett from WWE, then I'll watch and then I'll stick around for, and you see Styles versus Daniels, right?
And that's the idea, right? They're booked as attractions. So, and then whilst you're here, oh, bloody hell, these guys can go. And that's kind of how
Mm.
ROH was operating in 04, 05. They would bring in like a name like a Terry Funk or a Cornette or a, Mick Foley, Bobby Heenan, just try and get people in. Oh, I know that guy. And then, by the way, there's some actually kick-ass wrestling here, actually.
Mm.
So, would that get the big five on the Leachy scale?
Yeah, I mean, it's still as good as I remember it. But obviously, watching what you see on TV today, but
That's the
I just
problem.
remember at that time, I just remember being really hyped up for that. And for me, it was a shock result as well. I think I remember at the time, I thought Joe would win. That was the way it was built, unbeaten.
Well, Joe was being built as a killer, right? He was unbeaten.
Yeah.
It took two of them to kind of like get him out of the ring, and then them to have their own little mini rivalry. So, good booking.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Good booking. JJ, would you want to watch more of that era?
I'll happily watch more of that. There's quality stuff. I mean, you are right in what you say, Matt, that not that we see matches like that every week, but we are spoiled for good quality wrestling these days. Whereas something like this back in 2005, not something that you would have ever seen on Sky Sports on the WWE.
No, but the difference is
Thursday,
obviously
10 o'clock.
build to that. I think I probably would have paid to watch that. Whereas, like you say, you're getting it now for free unless you're paying for Triller, obviously. But then again, today you're getting like a lot of 50-50. Like, who did Will Ospreay go up against the other week?
Kyle Fletcher.
Lee Moriarty.
No?
Yeah,
Moriarty?
it's like, okay, I appreciate trying to get Lee Moriarty over, but like not to the detriment of himself in terms of, oh, I only just beat that guy. It's like, come on, this guy should be 50 down the rankings. He should be 50 down. You know what I mean? He should be beating him a lot easier. And
The thing for me last night is looking at the Dynamite card, right? Looks good. I want matches where it's not obvious who's going to win. Like, look at those matches from last night. I know no match is like up for debate, and that's JJ Fabzaka. Like Swerve beats right. I've not seen the results right. I'm guessing the Young Bucks. It was BCC were going to win. Tony Storm was going to win. Swerve was going to win.
Yeah, I don't think there were any surprises.
No, exactly, and it's like,
and obviously Tony Storm's going to beat Mariah May. So
Tony Storm's going to beat
Mariah
Mariah
May.
May. Harley Cameron.
Mariah May. Harley Cameron. Sorry.
I hope Tony Storm does end up.
Tony Storm won't beat Mariah May.
But you know what I mean?
Mariah May
Back in the day,
style.
Dynamite would have those matches where you go, "Oh, that's actually quite hard to call." Oh, like Dax versus Okada. I'm sure the match was great, but I know Okada's going to win. So
it's difficult though, isn't it? Like,
philosophy, or a wrestler's got more power now, or something. What do you think's changed from like the beginning of Dynamite, the beginning to now?
Well, this is what I was going to say. Like, it's difficult, right? Because you don't want to be giving away, say, for example, Ospreay versus Moxley, where you'd be like, oh, I don't know who's going to win. You don't want to give that away for free, as they say on Dynamite. You want to have a build to that match, so it makes sense. All right, we'll put Ospreay versus Lee Moriarty. It's still going to be a fantastic match, but then it does become a little bit predictable. So it's a tricky balance to find, right?
I'm fine with it being predictable, but I just don't like the fact that I've got to wait 20 minutes sometimes to know that I'm right. Like if I'm that right, it should be not a squash, but it should be a lot quicker and more decisive, because I want the two winners of their matches for me to go, oh, at the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view should be the one where I'm like, I don't know who's going to win. But
Yeah.
it's actually leaking into the pay-per-view now. Where I'm looking at the pay-per-view and going, I know who's going to win. Like, instead of the bookies, you got 1 to 50, like on Swerve potentially and
Serena Deeb.
yeah.
Some of us are
Serena
around
Deeb,
66 this year.
Yeah, Serena Deeb just can't win, right? You can't convince me otherwise.
I mean, she should. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, Christian Cage, I just don't get. That makes no. I mean, that makes no sense. How he's aligned himself with like the new elite, right? When him and Jack Perry were trying to kill each other, what, 12 months ago?
Yeah, you know what's
Well,
niggling on me? Sorry, Jay, is I was expecting Edge and Christian to get together based on the storyline where someone's going too far with Edge. So in other words, with this marriage thing now with the wedding ring, and if they do bring his wife into it, let's just say they beat his wife up, right? Something really, or whatever they do, right? Something real personal, which then makes you believe that Christian actually would come back and join with Edge. But they brought Christian back just for this throwaway title match. And it's like, why not just wait off? Like, I mean, I don't know if that's what's going to happen, Christian and Edge this quick. But
I think, and again,
It will- it
JJ,
will happen.
did
Thank
you
you to
watch
do it.
the Did you listen to the What Culture review this week?
are you talking about when they said that they should do Edge and Christian versus the Bucks, and the Bucks
Oh
should come
my,
out dressed like
yeah,
the Hardy Boys?
that would have me.
Yeah.
That would pop me daft. I think if they turn on Christian, right, Christian turns babyface, Edge comes and saves him. Okay, now we're gonna program because Christian's too good as a heel, right? There's only so many. There's
Yeah.
only so much dad shtick he could do.
you've got
So
to do it. Right? Definitely money, right? If you don't do it, then CM Punk's correct, right? If you don't do it, they got to do it. They got to do that. They got to get them together at some point.
one more thing while I've got you both here.
You
CM
got to
Punk,
tease it as well.
CM Punk trapped in Titan Towers a work or
I don't know. Just an idiot, isn't he?
Doubt it.
he's
Don't say
a
that to
strange
Jack.
boy. He's a strange boy, fella, isn't he?
No, we knew that.
But like, he found himself in an area where he didn't have his pass or whatever. Like, come on.
Not sure I believe Big Phil's that stupid, but he got good numbers on his Instagram, so yeah. Engagement bit is what the kids call it. But we'll see. Anyway, that was Unbreakable 2005. If you want to see watches, if you want us to be watching more 05, 06 TNA, before it was ruined by Dixie Carr and Hulk Hogan and Rich Bischoff, let us know in the comments. We'll put a link to it so you can watch that as well yourself. In the meantime, I've been Jack Milner, not Knockout Entertainment. He's been Matt Leach and he's been John Jacobs. And we will speak to you all very soon. Ta-ra!
Ciao.